We just met. Yeah,
okay, right.
They've been knowing each other.
We went to school together. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
And then he showed up with Coop one time, and it was just like the vibe was just crazy. Like, not only are we talking about this book, but Coop goofy, so it was like literally a vibe.
Right now, if y'all cannot stop looking at Coop with these glasses, y'all some fools. These glasses is killing me, man. Just caught him handcuffed.
Tell him when he showed up, though, man.
When he showed up, one of the times he showed up, he pulled up.
Oh God!
Remember, he had the sweatpants and he had them cuffed.
He had a triple cuff.
Triple cuff. He had sweatpants on, though.
How can you even triple cuff sweatpants?
Bruh.
Questions, bro.
Just do it.
Just do it.
So that was already funny, and then after that, he just started coming with me every time I would like meet up with her and discuss the book.
Okay.
And that's how everything just got going on. We just joined the whole little thing, all three of us. But
I'm like, dude, what? Like, how dope would it be if we just smack a camera in our face while we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, because at the end of the day, like, a lot of people don't know that it's people your age talking about this.
Another episode of Talk That Talk podcast. I am Gaylon Hughes Jr, better known as your credit expert, also known as the president of 3E Management Solutions. And today I have three individuals who are doing something so pivotal for the financial industry and specifically the city of Toledo as well. They discuss topics on their podcast such as financial literacy, real estate, business literacy, credit, stocks. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. They've had guests on their podcast such as the Let Twins, Jonathan Wheeler, and so many more guests in the future, I'm sure. And with that being said, let's welcome my friends Jus, Coop, and Domo, better known as the Financially Lit Podcast.
what's going on?
Finally.
What up?
Finally.
Thank you for having us.
Finally.
Man. We appreciate you.
We here.
It's been a while.
I know, man. It was about, what?
2 months.
Since we recorded.
May. I wasn't in May.
It was in May when we recorded.
Man, look, time flying, man.
Yep.
Time flying.
We've been working, man.
Yeah,
We've been
both.
working.
All of us,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, it's great.
Thing.
It's a beautiful thing to see, man. So we'll start off, basically, let's start off with the Financially Lit podcast itself. Tell the guests in the audience, how did that come together and how did y'all form it?
I mean, it pretty much started with Jus. I mean, he was reading. He's a reader. So he was like coming to me specifically and was like, yo, read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And it took me a little minute, but I finally got the book.
I was on you too, though.
He was on mine.
Every day I
He was on
How
me.
many chapters?
Yeah, he was on me.
For real.
But my thing is, I've never been much of a reader.
Okay.
I'm just being honest. Like, this is just a self-esteem of mine. I just haven't been much of a reader. But I finally grabbed the book, and we started meeting every Friday to discuss what we learned in the chapters. And then he showed up with Coop one time.
So before it was you two were friends before all three of y'all came.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Yeah, me and
I know
Coop,
that.
we
I've
just
been knowing him,
met.
though.
Yeah,
Okay, right.
they've been
So
knowing
I've
each
been
other.
We
knowing
went to
him.
school together.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
And then he showed up with Coop one time, and it was just like the vibe was just crazy. Like, not only are we talking about this book, but Coop goofy, so it was like literally a
I'm telling you
vibe.
Remember
right
he
now,
showed up.
if y'all cannot stop looking at Coop with these glasses, y'all some fools.
Shade.
These glasses is killing me, man. Just caught him handcuffed.
Tell him when he
before we
showed
started,
up, though, man.
When he showed up, one of the times he showed up, he pulled
Oh
up.
God.
Remember, he had the sweatpants and he had them cuffed.
He had a triple cuff.
Triple cuff. He had sweatpants on,
How
though.
can you even triple cuff sweatpants?
Bruh.
Questions, bro.
He
Just
had
do
them
it.
cuffed.
Just do it.
So that was already funny, and then after that, he just started coming with me every time I would like meet up with her and discuss the book.
Okay.
And that's how everything just got going on. We just joined the whole little thing, all three of us. But
I'm like, dude, what?
He
Like, how
goofy,
dope would it be
yeah,
if we
sure.
just smack a camera in our face while we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, because at the end of the day, like, a lot of people don't know that it's people your age talking about this
Right.
in this setting. You know what I'm saying? We can just be playing a game and just talking about the book.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a whole vibe. But a lot of people don't think that they age group talk about stuff like this, and we really do. And we just wanted to display that to people. Like, it's okay to be on this level of knowing about financial literacy.
Right.
And it's something that needs to be taught.
But see, a lot of people like discuss it amongst their little groups, but a lot of people don't take
Share
that
it.
step though. You know what I'm saying? Like we took that step to like reach out to people and like we ourselves, all of us, into our own things, and we all progressing every day.
Right.
But a lot of people, like you said, they discuss it, but nobody really taking that step. And I think we making it like cool to be like, oh yeah, let's research more, let's read more, let's invest more, all type of stuff, you know. But
Right.
take one person to do something, everybody gonna follow.
Exactly.
We didn't get serious till what, like December last year?
Yeah,
December 19?
yeah.
And when did y'all first start meeting up? Just
We been was meeting up before
I'll say like October.
yeah.
Okay.
Like
October
October.
2019.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
Yep.
But we were just meeting up, discussing the book. You know, we
Without the cameras.
laugh. Yeah, without the cameras. None of that. We
Yeah.
just talking about the books, talk about what we doing next as an individual ourselves, and like we push each other to do stuff. But
Do better,
then we was like, we might as well start recording this because people need to hear.
Here it
it.
is.
Man,
Yeah.
this is so pip. And I tell you, I think the biggest thing for me was when I seen not only y'all three just meeting up, but the chemistry on how y'all talk with each other. It ain't y'all got suits on. It ain't y'all talking so proper.
Right.
Coop got glasses on in the video. Domo sitting back. Just got a pair of Jordans on with a Scully. But y'all also intelligent, informative that a lot of people can relate to y'all no matter what avenue is coming from. So that's why I like it about y'all.
Stocking cap. Last
Yeah.
report.
But
I had a
see,
stocking
that's
cap
what
on.
it is. Like, who cares?
That's 2020 now, because you know back in the day, like if you didn't have a suit on with the best dress shows, you wasn't a businessman.
They
You
weren't
wasn't
looking
an
at you.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what I'm working on now is, well, like with the wholesaling, I send out postcards, but I got a picture of me and my girl because we the ones that the talk of it.
Right.
But my mom like, well, y'all need to like take a more professional picture dressed up. I'm like, it's 2020 though. Like
Right.
people,
Right.
it's more lenient with that type of stuff.
Right.
You don't have to be the suit. I mean, you gotta show yourself, right?
It
Proper,
being in
but-
some type of casual or
Yeah.
just to clean up type of time. But
I mean,
for
don't
the
know
most-
business, yeah.
but for the most part, man, I mean, you got the knowledge, you know how to give me a house.
Exactly.
You know how
Right.
to, that's all that they meant. That's all
Yeah.
they care about.
It's all about knowledge.
Yeah.
knowledge,
But
what you know.
nowadays, people look at first impression.
Right.
That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
how my
If you
mom
don't
is,
carry
first
yourself,
impression.
they
Like, I
ain't
ain't-
waste their time.
I ain't saying come in.
No. I know
You
what
know
you're
what?
talking about.
Don't come in all looking crazy, but
And yeah.
Holding up the money
yeah,
back.
Right.
holding up the stack of the money.
Yeah, money rolling, phone, calling somebody. No, don't do that.
You trying to get a house or what?
Yeah, like, what you want to do?
Pull up with the bottle out.
Man, yeah, you know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
nothing like that. But no, I get what you're saying. And I also think that the way that y'all break it down, that's so important because you can read something in the book and of course we got Google, we got smartphones, we can search it up ourselves. But to hear from somebody at our age group, but also somebody that may not be in the position that we even in or blessed as we are. So it's always good that y'all even doing that. Which brings me up to my next point. Talk about some arguments and disagreements that y'all have had as a collective that may not have been seen on camera. Because I know you be lying through your teeth if y'all tell me y'all ain't had no disagreements behind the camera.
They get on my nerves.
Oh, that's all they go. Well, forget the paper, man. Let's really talk about
We
it.
definitely bump heads though, because we all, you got people that everybody move at a different pace too. Like when you in a group, so
Right.
like we all up there, but like sometimes I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I get lazy, and she like, look, we need to get this done, do this, talk about this, discuss all this. But I'd be like, look, not today.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing
We
wrong
all,
with
got,
that.
we all got our time.
Yeah, we got our
though.
days.
Ain't nothing wrong
I
with
think
We all
I think what it
individuals.
is too though, like we let each other go through their emotions. Like when he get like that, we let him get like that because he always see it for himself. Like he'll always come back like, my bad, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my fault. I was slacking for a little bit, and we never know we all got separate lives.
Yeah.
He has a family. I have a family. Like
Right.
I'm married. Like we
Right.
all got stuff going on outside of this group.
Of course.
So whatever a person may be going through. Like last week, he said, "Hey man, I'm about to take a break for about a week." Okay, no
Leave it at
problem.
that.
Do what you gotta do. Sometimes people gotta take that little mental break.
Yes.
We got it. Like
Yeah.
it's three of us.
Yeah.
Whatever you can't do,
Right.
I'll pick up.
Right,
Whatever I
for
can't
sure.
do, we can pick up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't no big deal, but we do be man. Listen, they
We
get
be
on my
doing that.
nerves.
Hey, y'all can go through our group chat.
No, y'all keep that.
Me and Coop done
Y'all
argued
don't
in
get
the
nobody in
group
trouble.
chat. We done cussed each other out in the
Man,
group
look,
chat.
that ain't nothing. That's what I call family.
Yeah.
That's family
Yeah.
right there.
I'm always that person like, all right, now I'm about to get my belt. Like I'm getting tired of this.
Stupid.
Look.
Y'all got one more time to call
No,
each other out
auntie
y'all
out the
name.
group, listen, man. Don't ever playing, man.
said,
or I'll be like, you know what? I'm about to let y'all just go and duke it out. What's up?
Yeah, exactly. Y'all gonna get back cool anyway, so it don't even matter.
Yeah. But it makes our bond so much stronger.
Of course.
So much stronger.
Of course.
And one thing I've been saying since we started, man, I'm super proud of both of them. Their growth. Yeah. And from the time we started to now, like, I would have never thought, you know what I'm saying, that this group would have did so much for us in so little time.
Right.
But it has, and we stay encouraging each other. Whatever my brother gonna do over here, I support. Whatever my brother gonna do over here, I support.
Same thing for you.
We gonna be on him a little bit more, like, cause like he said, he get a little lax. But if he say he gonna do something, all right, you gotta stand on that.
Right.
That's just how he is.
Yep.
And that's what I needed too, though.
Yeah.
Because
I go self-awareness at the end of the day too, man. Some people are not built to be working 18 hours a day and be like, I don't need nobody behind me. Some people do need that push. And it's something deeper rooted, and usually what bring that out of somebody is having a Coop to cuss you out, or have a Domo to go, look, you fucking up. You need to get your shit in order. It's good to have them people in your corner because you never know what he's going through at home, and he might need that little push to go, just, you know, you can do this, dude. Come on, let's get rolling. You know what I'm saying? So that's great. I'm like ecstatic to hear that.
Who you keep around?
Exactly.
Keep around good company.
Yep, for sure. For sure. All right, man. Let's get into these episodes that y'all producing over there. Y'all dropping them like hotcakes. Y'all bringing them out. And y'all making sure everybody is getting this literacy. So the first episode I want to talk about is creating cash flow, which was episode 4. One of the interesting topics is, and I'll tell y'all this, how I'm gonna bounce about this is just things I was picking off of these episodes. So any type of topic I hear, it brought me to my attention. I'm like, ooh, that's a good one. So the first one I thought about is, what are you doing with your 24 hours? Now, just this plays into procrastination. This plays into, are you writing down all your goals? Are you writing down what your daily schedule is, or whatever the case may be? My question to you is, how important is, one, how long you sleep, and I'm not talking about you individually. How important is that to someone who's in an entrepreneur or a positive, productive lifestyle? And then 2, how has procrastination played into your life, and what have you done to change it?
Well, I'm gonna start procrastination. That's one of my biggest things I'm overcoming right now. Right. Literally, like, that's probably the biggest thing I deal with. Because like I was just saying, I get lazy sometimes, but I'm getting better now to where I stay working. I make sure I get something done before I chill, but procrastination was my biggest thing. And I was easily distracted too. Like,
from what?
Just anything.
Okay.
Like kicking it, partying, drinking all day, but like I barely drink now, but I make sure I get my work done. But somebody could text my phone, I could be in the middle of closing a deal, and I'd be like, well, all right, let's pull up, let's go kick it. Yeah. That's how bad I was. But now I make sure I handle business first before I go out and kick it, drink. But yeah, that was my biggest thing, procrastination. I dealt with that a lot.
Sure? Okay, I got you. My Domo, Coop, any of y'all?
My thing was, I don't know, I always tell myself there's always somebody out there working harder than you.
It's a bar.
And then on top of that, I know what my goal is as far as not just providing generational wealth for my family, but just being financially free. Yeah. Like, that's just the first thing, just being free from debt. And we all got some type of debt. Of course. You know what I'm saying? But understanding that a lot of people feel like you staying up super late, you doing work. Sometimes that grind comes when you wake up first thing in the morning, when you waking up at like 5 in the morning.
I was just having that conversation with my dad. My dad was telling me how this whole week, I got back. I used to wake up at 4 in the morning like every day when I was like 19 or 20, but obviously you at college, party life, you know how that goes.
You up late.
Right, of course. Right. But I got back to it this past week, and bro, like the amount of stuff that I'm getting done, it's like
that's what I'm working on.
And I can be the first to tell you, it's a process. Yeah. Like, it's crazy because one, your body gotta adapt to it, but at the same time, you gotta know, okay, at 7 or 8 o'clock, I know I can turn up, and that's when I'm gonna get mostly everything done. Yeah. You will start to know your body and how you adapt to it. So it was good to get back to that, because I was like, God damn, like I missed this and how much more you get done, and to keep you away from BS, because normally at the nighttime or whatever the case may be, you want to kick it. Oh yeah, so you tired. Look, dirty 30 over there.
I'm knocked out by 9:30, 10.
Yeah,
You know
but you keep it where you know I'm tired. I'm like, okay, I know I ain't going nowhere. Yeah. I gotta put in so much work in the morning. I'm not doing that.
But I make sure I get a lot done before. I make sure I get a lot done before I go to bed. Like I don't just like I have a 9 to 5, and after my 9 to 5, I work for myself. Right. You know what I'm saying? I put in that extra 3 to 4 hours into my businesses, into I'm checking my stocks all day long. Well, not all day long, but because I'm not like I'm not a day trader. I'm a long term. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm learning how to invest into new things. So, multiple sources of income is what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? It's investment 2020.
Hello.
That's my goal. 2020 investment.
Procrastination. We talking about. You know, I'm gonna take it a step back. I used to procrastinate growing up as a childhood. You know, even in my adult years, procrastination. Right. And the way I worked with it was pretty much I just forced myself to do it because I know it has to get done. Right. So I just went on and did it. Right. Now, I don't know if y'all know, I got into a serious car accident. So my life has drastically changed. So what my procrastination is coming from now is just with learning. Right. And I just procrastinate sometimes with learning. And I haven't worked in so long. I'm used to having a job. I'm used to getting up, going to work every day. 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And I don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Because situation I was put in. So up to this point, well, my procrastination is just with learning and just getting better, just for myself, because I'm in a whole different mind state now. But I'm used to working. I'm used to working that 9 to 5 or that 10 to 5 or that 5 to 5, depending on what the job called for. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I would put in time towards my loved ones. You know what I'm saying? I would go to work. I have a schedule. I still had a schedule. I would get things done, but my mindset is just changing right now because I'm in a whole different situation.
And I think the most important thing out of that, I got the two things I got out of that is priorities and learning at your own pace. Everybody can't learn so quickly as others. You know what I'm saying? So you may read that page or that chapter for 2 days, but Domo may run through it in an hour. It don't matter as long as y'all get to that end point and y'all can discuss it and dissect it. That's all that matters.
Some of it is fear too. Like you gotta not be scared to just take that jump, take that leap out on faith. You know. So mine not procrastination. Mine is more like fear. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I get scared of the things that I might be capable of. Like I scare myself. Like I can't believe I just did that. Like, and then you just don't know what might come about of things either. Like you don't know if you're gonna fail. You don't know if you're gonna succeed. And it's just like
just keep going.
Now I'm just like I'm just gonna do it. Right. That's how I am.
Okay, I got you. Which brings me to my next point, and I think both of y'all touched on it a little bit. Was I read this quote in the book of Grant Cardone. It's called "Be Obsessed or Be Average." He said bad habits usually lead to the lifestyle that you live leads to the bad habits that you have. Now, with that being said, what is your thoughts on the word discipline versus lifestyle? Because what I'm learning from him is the discipline that you have is usually an excuse of you saying, okay, I'm going to do this temporarily until I get my together, or I'm going to just convert over to a lifestyle that I know I need to live to get to that point that I'm trying to get to.
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
So basically you asking about discipline.
And my dad is in the corner. He in his home house. I ain't letting him do this. Come on, dude. I ain't letting him do this. He getting the liquor right now. It's a liquor run. Partake.
The party really upstairs.
The party is upstairs. Like, what you gonna get to later? Huh? Man, go get you another drink, man. We still gonna get.
Hey, the way he just did that though, he was like Spider.
Talking about too athletic. Oh my god,
man.
Do your own house.
See who you get it from.
He did that like he was our age. Yeah, like I can't even. I don't think I could do my knees.
He about to be 50 ball and about to be 50 and doing that.
But the bad habits, we actually had an episode where we had a part on bad habits.
It's on the book. It was on the chapter.
It was in a chapter in Rich Dad Poor Dad where he talked about eliminating things in order to get to where you're trying to go. Right. So like, for instance, I want to save so much money, but I keep spending on unnecessary things. Sometimes you got to take a back seat and realize, is it even important to spend this type of money? He just talked about this too.
I just made a stat about
it. Just made a stat about it. So like,
I seen it.
We all like
it was dope.
We all got at least one person that look like he or she got money and they don't got no money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a bad habit. You know what I'm saying? You could take what you have on and just throw it in an account and invest in yourself. Right. But you want to spend it on something that don't have no value once you put it on.
Right. And it's an insecurity at the same time too.
Yeah.
So most of the time, people they portray that persona of having money and saying that they have these materialistic things, but may have some crazy things going at home to where rent might not be paid, you know what I'm saying? Bills might not be in order, or might not even be a priority. So when you get to that, I say that self-awareness and that point of where you go, I know what's important, I know what I want to live my life for, all that stuff becomes irrelevant. A topic that he talked about was the whole, how you said that I was in the process of, or not in the process, but I was thinking about buying something for your wholesaling business, and then you go,
I was hesitant
about it, but you was ready to buy them Yeezys.
I did.
But you,
I did buy them Yeezys.
He did both.
You did.
I bought the Yeezys, but which was like $300.
Right.
And then I went to because the app I use, you gotta reload it with money, and I was hesitant to put $50 on there.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking well, what am I putting this on there for? But I had to think in the long run, this gonna pay off. This gonna be the one to pay off. The Yeezy's not gonna pay off. Yeah. But I made a comment where it said that I'm gonna do both. That's why I gotta turn my hustle up. Right. Because I still want the $300 Yeezys, but I still gotta invest in myself.
And that's another thing that I don't like either. Man, if you want them Yeezys, get them Yeezys. Yeah. But make sure that your hustle gonna triple that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with having a nice lifestyle. Yeah. But just make sure your priorities in check to know I can afford them Yeezys. And I still put that $50 on that wholesale app. It's all about priorities and making sure everything is in place. That's right, for sure.
Some people don't get that though.
I think if you can buy it 3 times, then go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, if you can buy it 3 times, but also you know that from your knowledge base that I know I'm about to get these Yeezys, but I got a deal and I'm about to close within 2 weeks for $5,000. Yeah, I think I'll be alright with them Yeezys.
Yeah,
okay. So y'all was saying having 3 times or whatever you was gonna spend on, right? That's what all y'all saying.
Yeah.
So before this pandemic, how many of y'all had 3 months of savings put up?
I did,
for sure.
I did.
For sure. I did. And the crazy,
a lot of people don't.
And let's get that for sure. No, the average American, not average. 80% of Americans don't have $500 saved in their account. That's a fact.
I thought it was.
That's a fact.
I thought it was 3,000.
3,000 Americans?
No, $3,000
in an account.
Yeah.
What Americans you think?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I thought that was.
A lot of people don't have that. No, a lot of people don't have 3,000. Just you can't. They not touching.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, that.
No.
Oh, okay.
Listen, 80% of Americans are living check.
I don't get on Google a lot. I'm used to just going to work.
No, that's what this is for, bro. I'm like research junkie.
That's the last time I looked it up. I think it said 3,000.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
Yep, and bro, listen, especially for a pandemic like this to go on,
yeah.
Oh my God,
it's almost been a whole year almost because it happened around my birthday in March.
But we're going on 7 months.
7 months,
for sure. Right. Yeah, since look how you got to pivot. I
ain't worked at 9.
Yeah, look. We still
about
here.
10.
I'm not gonna lie. Before financially lit was even thought of, my goal would be I gotta get to 1,000 in my account. You know what I'm saying? I get to 1,000, but by the time I get to that 1,000, all my bills coming out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it got to a place where I sat me and my wife down, and we literally went over the stuff we was spending money on. And when I tell you, we spending 20 a piece on coffee a week. We buying lunch, we buying out when we got a no, we don't go out, but we got a fridge full of food, but we eating out every night. You know what I'm saying? Just unnecessary stuff. Yeah. And when I told her, look, hey, cash machine is closed.
For real.
Stupid. You do what you want, but you do what you want to do with your bread. But I'm letting you know right now, I'm on a mission, and it happened 6 months before COVID.
Yeah.
Like, and by the time COVID hit, my account was looking nice. Yeah, like real nice. I shocked myself. Yeah. Like, and then from COVID to now, I'm really looking nice. So it's like
it's a lifestyle now.
It's a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather invest in myself than just spend on something. But that's just me though.
Not to cut you off, but what probably got you into that was y'all two meeting up.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
And not only that, even having the maturity for you, because I mean, we both married. Nothing against y'all too. But we both married, and we can have that kind. It's the maturity level that you gotta have to even go like, babe, look, I know, like our finances ain't even in order. We need to have that conversation. Yeah, man, it's a lot of people that's scared to have that convo because they don't even got the respect level for their partner to even have that convo.
Or they gonna feel.
But it was to the place where we weren't even thinking about it because at the end of the day. Because we got money, you know what I'm saying? So we got some money, you know what I'm saying? We always going, as long as the bill's straight, we straight, you know what I'm saying? But when I started like really thinking about it after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I'm like,
it just changed you, right?
And then you ever around tax time see you get your W-2s, and you see how much you made in a year, and you don't have nowhere near what you made in a year.
It's a gut-wrenching realization.
Man, it was like I can't believe I made this.
Learning that,
and I'm sure you said you worked 12s, so I know you was making some money. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you go look at that when it's tax time. You like, so I done made 80,000-90,000,
and then you look at your savings,
and I look at my savings. I only got a band. Man, where did my money go?
But it's a humble piece. It's a piece of humble pie to where you like, all right, I need to get my shit.
It usually go to where you. It usually go to your lifestyle, how you live. Of course, but you just gotta change how you live. You gotta change how you spend. You gotta change your lifestyle. Yeah. And you gotta just do it for a certain period, and once that period over, you can fall back and say, okay, I done saved up 4-5 years of this saving.
Now I can do this investing.
Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, for sure.
You just gotta play your cards different.
Yep, for sure.
But then it's a negative to saving too, because
it is.
When you put money into an account, it don't accrue too much interest. So you just got it sitting in there, and you probably only making like a penny every 6 months on whatever you putting in there. So you want to make sure you investing in yourself too, to make sure your money making money.
But you saving. I'm talking about when you save. I save different. Like I save for like hard times and all this and that. Like what we going through right now. You know what I'm saying? But I see what you're saying with saving. Like, just let the money sit in there. It's gonna add up.
And usually when
it usually be a little amount. Not to cut you off. It usually be a little amount. But I save for different times and things I want to do later on. So that's what I save for. Like, I don't want to live with mom and dad forever. I'm gonna save up. Yeah. And when I move out, I'm gonna get everything. Pay for all that, and still have money.
Right. Coop giving us West Coast vibes right now, man. I got this whole West Coast vibe from this dude. Like
about a minute away from doing the crip walk on this.
Like on some Nate Dogg, like a Nate Dogg over here.
Ice Cube, I got a bandana ready to tear the whole house up type of vibe. Oh my God. Domo, Fog It Up Hookah. Tell me a little bit about it and what made you get into the hookah industry itself.
Okay, so I started hookahing maybe 2-3 years ago. My best friend put me on to it, Naughty Designs, Denzel Brown. And he was just like, try it. I'm like, I don't smoke, because I don't smoke. So I'm like, I don't smoke. Like, no, I'm cool. Like, I'm team, don't put nothing in my body that may be harmful. That was maybe harmful. Like, that's just stupid. Anything that may be harmful, I don't want it in my body. So that was just me. But I seen how much fun he was having with it. So, like, he came in town, and we was hookahing, and I'm like, dang, this sweet. Like, I'm playing with the clouds. Like, it's sweet. And then I ended up buying a hookah off my cousin. And we always have game nights at my house. Okay. And whenever we was having game nights, everybody be like, spark the hookah. But at this time, hookah was not big in Toledo. It's still really not that big.
I agree. I don't think it's that big at all.
But at the time, no one was really doing it. And I'm like, man, I'm about to do something creative. Now, at the time, I was working with some people and we put together like a poetry event. So we did poetry and hookahs just to see how the vibe would go, and the vibe was dope.
That's what's up.
It was amazing.
That's
like
what's
it was people.
I think I remember one of them.
It was actually last June. So we launched Fogged Up Hookahs last June.
Okay.
And from there, a guy that was one of the poetry poets, he started doing party promotions. Okay. And he was like, I want y'all to bring hookahs every party. So we started bringing hookahs every party. Like we was at Cali's by UT before they got shut down.
I went to one.
Yeah, both of y'all went to one. Thank you for the support, y'all. And, then we did like private parties. We did Blue Agave. We just did a whole bunch of different things, and it was just like, bruh, like we gotta like do it like how they doing it in these bigger cities. If we do it how they do it in these bigger cities, people won't be so excited to go out of town because it's here. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring that fun that's out of town here. And it still take time, you know what I'm saying? My partners, my wife, Denzel Brown, we come together collectively. We about to actually start a lounge. We're actually in the process of that once COVID is all the way out of here. You know what I'm saying? We don't want no discrepancies or anything. We don't want to have to shut down in the middle of the process. Right. So like we taking our time with it, but definitely we want to bring that vibe.
Right. And talk about them. I think the key thing that you just not just brush over but we so literate and basically into business itself. Talk about how you formed them partnerships with them different venues that you went to, or how those relationships were even formed in the first place.
Like talk the business side, like the percentage and money side?
No, not even that. You ain't got that to detail, but just more of like if somebody was looking to start up a hookah line or whatever the case may be, tell them how you form the relationships and how you can help out the audience if they were to try to.
First and foremost, you got to be passionate about whatever you're doing. You got to do your research. One thing that's a pet peeve of mine is when I go to a person and ask them about a product and they know nothing about it.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's definitely one of mine. So I ain't gonna lie.
To me, it looked like you just in it for the bread.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Me, I don't have to get booked for anything. I'm a hookah regardless. Because that's just how I chill. Like, we hookah, like, all the time. Like, before and after our recordings, we hookah. That's just what we do.
You probably talking to the wrong person, though.
We used to meet up once a week just to hookah.
Yeah.
Which is dope. Because
twice, 3 times a week.
Yeah, just the hookah. It's just a vibe that come with it. But you definitely want to know the product, understand the product, and
a lot of people don't.
And then on top of that, you can't be afraid to invest in yourself. When I tell you, that was the first thing we did was invest in ourselves. We bought hookahs. Like we bought like 12 to 15 hookahs before we even had the party. You know what I'm saying? Like we had that.
Do testing and whatever the case may be. Like what product we're gonna sell.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not even we didn't eventually sell our products until COVID hit. Okay. So like we kept all our stuff like in storage and stuff like that, and we used it for the actual bookings that we had. But then when COVID hit and they shut down all of the venues and no parties and nobody can really be outside and stuff like that, that's when we're like, well, we still need to create a vibe for people that can't go outside, and hookah is definitely a vibe just in your house. So we started selling our products, and now when we sell, we reinvest in ourselves. I can honestly say whatever we made off of Fogged Up Hookahs ain't went to us individually. It go right back into the company.
That's what's up.
So we haven't lost no money either, like in the process at all. Like I've never had, I haven't lost any money.
That's what's up.
At all.
It sounds like if we put it into perspective, it sounds like a recession-proof business because for the most part, COVID hasn't really affected it. Not only not have been affected, but it's a house vibe from the start. So
it depends on how you create off of it.
Right.
Some people probably would have just, dang, I did nothing. Right. But I'm like, man, we can sell these hookahs. Still bring money in.
Yeah. Not to cut y'all off. I think you said COVID didn't affect what?
Didn't affect the business itself.
Right. I think it affected the lower class businesses and everything.
Oh, no, you're talking about, he's speaking for my business.
I was speaking specifically. But no, I agree with you as well.
Even people that just started up.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. Yeah, right. I mean, just look at the people that was filing for grants or whatever the case may be. What's going on? Okay, Brian. Okay. All right. This is total surprise. My bad, man. We're going to get you a check. Matter of fact, hold on one second.
We got to get him
artificial intelligence. What y'all think about that, man?
I think if you can be on a grill for McDonald's, you can be on a grill for yourself.
Hello.
Right.
They make some good burgers too.
That's a bar.
You making the burger? Why not?
Yeah, that took me back to Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's not the product you sell, is how you sell it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
McDonald's ain't got the best burger, but they know how to sell it.
And they one of the biggest real estate owners in the world.
There you go.
Sure.
Shut up.
For sure. What?
We read about that in Rich Dad Poor Dad.
How many McDonald's you know in Toledo?
Dang, we did.
They own
the land.
They own land beyond.
Yeah,
McDonald's.
That's what I'm saying.
They might even
Parking
own
lots?
land under Starbucks
Exactly.
or something.
But that's what people don't realize to understand though.
Mm-hmm.
It's not who has the best burger. You know what I'm saying? It's how you sell your
How
product
you market it.
and market it and all that. And if you got a good team, they gonna help you elevate.
And you ain't got no choice when there's some McDonald's on every corner.
Because you got to think how many spots you done popped up at that might say, we got the best burger. You eat their burger and it's sick.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Right.
You got the best burger to the people you marketing to.
Yeah.
Not to everybody.
Yeah,
That burger
yeah.
suck.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's been a couple McDoubles that ain't been the best in my stomach. For sure.
They
For sure. But it been a couple McChickens that I'm like, all right, I think I can do
They
it.
got the best.
For sure.
I mess with the McChickens.
You going on that side of town.
Yeah.
But my overall point is like you have certain products that you know you're gonna go to, but when you have a certain selection and it's so convenient around the place, Starbucks, McDonald's, them top corporations, you're gonna eventually gonna go, okay, all right, man, let me go try to see if they got this good chicken wrap or this good coffee that I want.
And they keep it in your face.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You could on the radio, TV, YouTube, Pandora. You hearing about McDonald's?
Yeah,
I don't care what you own. You hearing about McDonald's
for sure.
They keep it in your face.
Yep.
You go try the Big Mac.
You had to learn to appreciate too those workers.
Yeah.
Because during COVID,
I wasn't flipping no burgers.
Listen. When those places got shut down and people lose convenience,
It was
people
going
were crazy.
Yeah.
Like they started learning to appreciate. Hey man, when they come back to work, we ain't never talking about one McDonald's worker ever. Like I don't care how much they make, man. The same thing with healthcare providers, like the healthcare workers.
Sure.
We really didn't appreciate. And that's why I say COVID was a blessing in disguise.
I agree.
Because although we lost some things,
But you gained something.
we gained a lot too.
For sure.
I never thought I'd be making all these investments during a crisis, a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people didn't know that they would be so creative. Like I done started us. Like we selling shirts now, like and we making the shirts ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like we not asking nobody to do it for us. We like, man, we about to do it ourselves.
Yeah,
that's a whole another investment for us.
Another level, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
a whole nother.
Don't forget the construction workers too, though. Not to catch you out.
Yeah, they tearing down Lexus right now. I ain't liking it.
Don't forget the union workers.
Listen,
we represent too.
Brother, you can cut anybody off you want. We all family at this table. We know you don't mean no harm, bro. Cut whoever off at this table.
Okay.
Say whatever you want. So my one of the bigger questions that I had, which is from y'all next episode that I took into liking, I guess you can say, was Mind Your Money, Assets versus Income Statement, which was episode 2. Mm-hmm. I think we were just talking about this on this concept, which is make your money work for you. What made you guys agree on this concept? And really, Dom, I want to tap into you because you still working a 9-to-5 too, right? No, you're not.
Not
okay.
right now.
Okay,
Shut down.
Okay, but at a time.
Yeah.
So, what made you guys go? Okay, I'm not going fully entrepreneur, but I'm still sticking with my 9-to-5, and I still have other assets that I can tap into and other streams of revenue. Because a lot of people see social media and go, I see Ty Lopez who constantly promoting on social media, and he quit his job and he became a millionaire, a multi-millionaire.
Right.
Or you might see somebody that's working a 9-to-5 as a doctor assistant, but still got a clothing brand on the side and still winning. So it's always good to hear different perspectives.
I mean, I don't like the 9-to-5 thing, but it's a thing of security for a lot of people because
for sure.
You could take that money and invest.
Security.
Like what I did with my 9-to-5 was my checks I put straight toward what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But I always had to make sure I had something coming in because you start off on the ground. So it take a minute to get your career where you want it to be at. So I always use my 9-to-5 as like my backbone for real. Like,
as your leverage.
Yeah, I took that and I invested into what I wanted to do. But at some point, right now I'm not working at all because of COVID. I mean, but I probably still won't be working, but if they called, I pop up whenever they need me. But I can't go into that 9 to 5 no more. I just wanted to use that to get where I'm at. But where I'm at right now, you don't really need money or credit to even get to where I want to be.
Sure.
Right.
So it make it a little bit more easy not working a 9 to 5. But I mean, I still got income coming in, but I don't think I'll go back to a 9 to 5.
And it's funny you spoke on that because what I'm seeing, and y'all can comment on this too, is a lot of people are getting into the habitat of going, I'm low-key tired of working a 9 to 5. If you think about December of 2019 till now, it wasn't a lot of people that was on social media like, no, I'm going to stick with my job. I'm good. Everything good. But it was just a kick that something with COVID, you laid off, you sitting in the house, it's only so many movies you're going to watch.
Right.
You're going to see Domo talking about fogged up hookahs, or you see just on my wholesale, you gonna go, God damn it, I think I could try this out myself. Let me go see if I can open up a business.
I think it's
I worked a little bit through the quarantine. I was doing a little construction at TRC, but they got to the point where they even shut that down early.
Right.
But if it's that serious, I told myself.
We used to talk about it.
Yeah. Me and him, we did the same line. Well, he was a welder and a boiler maker. I was just a laborer, but like, if they call, I still go work because I mean, I get the little money and it's chill because it is easy money. Not easy, I ain't gonna say easy. Dropping down in them holes.
Money that's
it ain't easy,
but it's something you're used to.
Yeah, it's something I'm used to. But
for sure.
Everybody
I think
can't
too
do it.
it's the level of appreciation that the job has for a person. That's why people like, I don't want to work for nobody else, because we seen a lot of people just get laid off unexpectedly. You know what I'm saying? Some people did work, some people got laid off. Some people still ain't back to work. Some people that's back to work at their job, but they haven't got picked to go back to work.
So high risk.
It feel like, you know what I'm saying? I could. And you got people like, for instance, I use like Chrysler for an example. People are walking out of their jobs because they don't want to be at risk of COVID. And what Jeep Chrysler is doing, they just picking people up off the street to pick up for them.
Exactly.
So it's like, they don't even really care. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as they just got to make their money at the end of the day. And I think the company is just trying to make their money. And they realizing like, I can literally die
Pick up
today
and
be replaced tomorrow.
It sounds like a temp agency to me so much.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
In a sense.
Like, just come on. Just
I mean, I done had a couple jobs call me every day. Like, it's applications that I put in 6-7 months ago. They calling me, bugging me to come.
Going, okay,
I'm like, look, I'm
cool
now.
Yeah, I'm straight.
Damn near a year ago.
For sure.
I'm cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But COVID definitely pushed me to where I don't want to work for nobody, because like these companies don't care about nobody.
For sure.
Like, you can literally get sick. Like she said, you can get sick
just
today.
a number.
And in 2 days, they have somebody replacing you.
Yeah.
What you think, B?
You ain't got a postcard or nothing in the mail.
Yeah.
You in the hospital bed.
Yep.
Just that complacency, like, you know, you going to do something every day, and you're used to doing it. Then this happened, and then it's like, boom, okay, you can only watch, like you said, watch so many TV shows, Netflix and chill, or, you know what I'm saying, work out. But then you go to the store, work out, there ain't no workout gear there. So it's like, whatever you used to doing whatever you used to doing as far as going to your 9 to 5, now you gotta think of something. Boom, well, like for one, when it jumped off, a lot of people didn't get their unemployment right away. You know what I'm saying? It was 3 4. I know one cat, he didn't get his unemployment for like 3 months. Like the whole, like he literally got his whole thing like right after.
I just had asked that. I was saying, not to cut you off.
No, you good.
Bro,
he said I could.
We gonna kick Coop off this camera if he said it again.
3 months savings.
Kicking him off.
A lot of people gotta have 3 months savings.
A lot of people weren't prepared for that.
But
yeah, for sure. No,
but you should always be prepared for that. You know,
and that's another reason why we started
it's
Financially Lit. You know what I'm saying? So we can encourage people that we don't know when the next pandemic is gonna hit, but you just always want to be prepared.
Anything.
I could have definitely been messed up, but had I not read Rich Dad Poor Dad back in October, I would have never been prepared for COVID. I just happened.
Right.
Thank you, Just. I appreciate you, big dog.
There's some people out here that's so worried about being prepared that they not taking that step forward that they need to be financially free.
Because they scared.
You being scared, like don't put all your focus on being prepared. A pandemic hit, you gonna make it out. Like they've been sending us unemployment and checks here and there.
Stimulus.
You gonna make it through there. You gonna make it through it. Don't put all your time being scared to where, oh, I gotta be set for 6 months.
Right.
Fuck that 6 months.
Right.
Worry about today. Like it's me. I'm not a big saver. I didn't start saving until I got with my girl, and I still don't save.
Right.
If I see an investment opportunity, if I got $5,000 in the bank, an investment opportunity take $5,000, I'll go take the whole $5,000 out.
For sure.
That's the type of person I am, though.
Yeah, no, and that's called a risk taker.
Yeah,
it's called a risk taker. And I think it's funny you said y'all talked about like, man, fuck that, just go in even if it's not safe in 6 months. One thing I think about is it's always a certain type of economic breakdown. So if you think about 08, 09, the real estate recession where the market was crazy down, people was going to so many floor closures at that time. It's always something that's going to pop up. But like you said, the key is not being prepared, but not being over prepared. How we talk about savings accounts that only give you a 0.02% on your savings account. No, you got 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Go invest in that business that you want to do, because you know what can happen. You always can start over. If you go bankrupt, if you go whatever the case may be, you always can start over.
It's a financial security too, which is why I haven't quit my 9 to 5. Stand on the question. But I love my job. You know, so I went to school for this actual field of study.
See, that's different, though.
But that's not underemphasized what the hell you do.
Right.
So what do you do?
That's a whole engineer, though. Like,
no, we're not about to just roll over.
I went to school for
I went to school to be a scientist.
I went to school for information technology.
Okay.
And I am an engineer.
Popular, profitable industries in this world. People are like calling everything.
You got people like Wendy's that's like scared to lose their job. Come on.
I say that because
they be old.
If I want, I say that because if I could be like Justice, just be like, forget this job, but I actually love what I'm doing at my job. You know what I'm saying? So
that's good here.
And then on top of that, it's like that's kind of like a financial security too. Like I don't have to touch that, especially if my investments is taking care of everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's just there as a little cushion to get me through in case anything may happen. I know me and my wife have plans for things in 10, 15 years from now that I gotta go for. So that's why I keep my job, but at the same time, there's a convenience too, because while I'm at work, I can promote my investments.
Right.
I can promote Fog It Up Hookahs. I can promote Financially Lit. I can look at my stocks. I can look at this. I can look at that. I could do whatever too at the same time while I'm at work. But if I didn't have that leniency, I don't know.
You don't know what you're doing.
Cool though. See, a lot of people in a situation where they hate their jobs, but they just scared to lose it because they don't want to fall back on rent. They don't want to fall back on their credit card payment.
Check.
And I get job opportunities like that for me to leave to go somewhere else, but it'd be like, y'all want me to work 12s?
Right.
No, I'm not working the 12s to keep me away from me being a boss in these areas. Like I'm not settling for nothing more than what's my goal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with where I'm at. I work my same hours. I get my leniency, my little cushion, my little wiggle room, and I'm sticking with that. Like, I'm not working harder for nobody else.
A year ago, I'd have been like 12s. Sign me up.
But see, I ain't working on 12s. I always went into a job. I can go into a job like, look, just pay me enough to take care of the little bills, and I handle the rest. Yeah, I can come in here and work 20 hours a week. If that's gonna pay for my rent, my car note, and all that, and I can handle the rest and focus on me, sign me up. Because I just like having bills paid for. Like I know that's getting paid for. I gamble with the rest. I pay for the shoes, the clothes, the extra investments.
True entrepreneur.
I do that myself. But I want to make sure the bills paid and my kids eating what they always gonna eat, but I want to make sure the lights on, all that. So give me a little 20-hour a week job that's gonna pay for that. I handle everything else.
For sure.
And I'm gonna go get it.
For sure.
But I'm not about to sit at no job for no 60 hours, no 80 hours.
I ain't doing that.
And I can't focus on me.
For sure.
It's over with.
I agree.
Forget that. I'm not doing it.
I remember when I worked at UPS, well, I'm still at UPS, I'm just an engineer, but when I was actually a package handler, like pushing boxes, I did that all the way through college, just working 20 hours a week, and people would be like, how do you still have, and I was even a bigger saver when I was doing that.
Oh yeah, I mean, because you
gotta be working hard. You work hard for your money. You don't spend it.
It wasn't even working harder. You only make so much. Correct. You only make so much. You gotta make sure you you have stuff to pay.
That's what my mom
your priorities is paid for. I never had to go.
But nobody want to live like that.
Don't nobody want to live. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely don't want to live check to check. So if I can put 4 or 5 checks ahead and then do what I want to do, then that's cool. But I literally live 5 years, 20 hours straight, going to school.
W4s, married at 9, single.
That's what you got from that. Hey man,
you play around with that, you won't have to.
I'm about to take Coop drink.
Listen, you won't have to pay no tax. I ain't never paid taxes till this year.
For real?
Probably being honest.
No, I know, but what you just said was a fact. Talk about that. No, what you just said.
I just play around with the taxes. You know what I'm saying? You can't do married at 9. You're gonna get more on your check.
No, I know what you're talking about.
But you can't do it for long.
Yeah,
you could do flat 50.
Correct.
You could do what?
Flat
0?
50.
I'm just so weak.
I can't even drink my drink right now.
I'm just keeping it real.
No, I know what you're talking about, bro. That's an actual fact.
You can't do it long. You gotta base it on how long you're gonna be at a job.
Correct.
If you know how long you're gonna be at a job.
Correct.
You gotta base it on how much you working, how much you getting paid.
Yep.
And then you gotta base it on just the longevity of the job.
Yeah.
If you know you're gonna be there for 3 months, you could be like, all right, I'm gonna do married at 9. I'm gonna have to work another 4 or 5 months. I'll just do married or just single. Just do yourself. You ain't
Whatever
married.
benefits.
See, what I used to do was if it
I ain't
was
never owed on no taxes.
If it was like a 2-3 month job, flat 50. Straight
you
flat
do that.
50.
Yeah.
Get all your money.
Exactly.
But you, like you said, you gotta know how long
You
you're
gotta
going.
know how long.
Don't do that shit all year.
And look,
You gonna
because you know what's coming at the end of the year.
Right,
for sure,
right.
For sure. Yeah,
So,
I think the
I
bigger.
ain't never owed to this year.
I
To
don't
be
play with my
honest.
taxes.
Yeah.
I don't play like how y'all just play.
look,
like I don't do that. But I know it probably is legit. But I just I'm
That's
too
the
scared.
the biggest thing. You can play around, but even if you owe just 5.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
what,
yeah,
what a lot of people doing the construction jobs, you know, they making all that money, so they be like, shit. Well, if I'm only here for 2-3 months, a lot of them jobs don't last too long.
Right.
They be like 2-3 months, flat 50.
Then
I'm
go to
gonna
the
get
next
all
season.
my money, and then toward the end of the year, I'm gonna start claiming right. That
Yep.
way, it pays off what I took.
Exactly.
That way, I don't owe.
You're getting
at
the
the end of
hours.
the year.
Basically,
Yeah,
balance
you're
it
getting
out.
your hours in. So
Okay.
It's a different type of what you work.
But you, like you said, you gotta know what you're doing though.
For
Yeah.
sure.
You get to the end of the
For
year,
sure.
they'd be like, "Well, where that 10 grand at?"
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And I was gonna say, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Dom.
Going into your question about taxes and scam. If you watch the episode, we didn't technically say taxes was a scam. We asked.
We did.
Do y'all think taxes is a scam because of what we read? Because of what we read.
Yeah.
Like when we read that chapter, Rich Dad Poor Dad, we was like, it was just how he described taxes and how the rich get around taxes
tax
through
breaks.
loopholes,
Yeah.
through tax breaks, and it's
Real
like.
estate.
The rich don't. They either get a breakdown, got to file as soon as we do, or they don't have to pay as much. And we poor. We the ones weighing with the money.
But
right.
you got
they the ones got all the money.
Because
like,
you got to think about it. You're working. The people that are in 9-to-5s, and again, nothing against people working 5s. This is just facts. When you work into 9-to-5s, you're working into a corporation. Your taxes, your insurance, all of those types of different types of taxes are coming out of that. Right. So you're literally just working for those hours, and you're getting taxed the most. But if you go to an entrepreneur or actual business owner, they can write off business expenses. They can write off their medical insurance, employees, all type of stuff. So when you get to that ending point, and you got to file your taxes. You got an employee who then basically got 40% of their checks going. However, the business owner basically then written off so much that whatever they made throughout the year is gone.
That's why a lot of them like rich people put their money, like say they make $1 million, they put $1 million into real estate.
For sure.
Because what you make out of real estate, like because they employing people, they doing all that, they got tax breaks. So say they make $2 million out of real estate, that's all tax free.
For sure.
So they put $1 million in, make $3 million out.
Exactly.
It's tax free.
Exactly.
They ain't gotta pay nobody.
Yeah. Jay-Z, we said my accountant's so good, I'm practically living tax free. That's a bar. That's
what song?
That's Meek Mill, Rick Ross, Jay-Z. What's free off the Championships?
Okay
album.
then.
Yeah,
okay then.
One of my favorites. For sure. It's the truth. It's the truth. When you got a good accountant, you get that proper knowledge, which I think the poor, obviously, in the black community for sure lack. You just don't have that knowledge. You don't even know what that means for sure.
Right.
Going into my next episode that I love, man. Shouts out to Jonathan Wheeler, man. That's my guy. He's basically, if you were in his corner, man, he'll definitely look out for you.
For sure.
And basically Basically, if you're looking for any type of knowledge on stocks, mutual funds, life insurance policies, or anything, please. I don't know what Jonathan Wheeler's Instagram, Facebook, or anything. We're gonna get that. Mutual. Man, listen, we're gonna get the end of this episode.
That's the company.
I know on Facebook his name is Jonathan Wheeler, but I'm gonna try to find his Twitter and Instagram for sure, man. He needs that for sure. For sure. Coop going crazy right now. I love it. Going into that episode, we were just talking about this off air, how Jonathan Wheeler had a dad who knew a person and got recommended that internship. Mm-hmm. Now he's one of the top interns in that company.
You said what? Top
10? Yep. Yeah. Top 10. So I want to ask you guys, tell me about an example. Brian, you definitely, and Brian, you could stop being so quiet over there too, dude. I don't like
he
how
ain't
you
drinking
doing
enough.
That,
he need another one.
I don't care if he ain't drinking. Look, you on the top, man. You gotta talk.
He done guzzled that.
Tell me about a time that you guys had networking working in your favor and how this helped you out in your careers that you guys had.
This is an example right here.
Hello.
Brian, we're financially lit. Mm-hmm. Had he not reached out and said, yo, how can I get parts? This wouldn't be possible. Like, right. This is being honest. Like, right. And you know what I'm saying? We were just like, yo, let's see how he mesh with how we break down this book, Think and Grow Rich. Mm-hmm. And since then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Brian been in our corner. You know what I'm saying? Since then. Yeah. We talk, we chop it up. I chop it up with Brian often. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to anything, it's not always about what you know, but who you know.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? Hello. And I wouldn't get a lot of the things that I have gotten in life if it wasn't for who I knew. For instance, me getting into my engineering position. Mm-hmm. It was me working as a package handler, and then my supervisors knowing that I'm going to school for information technology. They just waiting on me to graduate.
And did you know that prior to having a conversation with them, or they just knew that?
No, they just knew.
That's what's up.
So like,
it's called observer, right?
Yeah. So sure. Like, I was actually planning on going to the Air Force. And
Domo getting yelled at in her face. I can't see that.
It ain't that bad.
Oh yeah,
it ain't that bad.
It ain't that bad.
I can handle getting yelled at.
You can?
Yes.
Okay.
When you gotta
go, bite my tongue. You know what I'm saying? If I know I'm gonna get in trouble if I say something back, I ain't gonna say nothing back.
That's what's up.
But okay, so I was planning on going into the Air Force, and it happened so crazy. Like literally the same week I got denied for the Air Force, which had nothing to do with nothing. It was really just like medical conditions. Okay. But because I couldn't go into the Air Force, literally that same week, UPS was like, yo, we about to have an interview. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And we want to interview you. And I'm just like, yo, what? Mm-hmm. That was crazy. Yeah. And then like literally a couple weeks later, boom, I'm right into engineering.
That's a guy.
Yeah, that's a guy. Nothing but it though, for sure.
It's always about what you know.
For sure.
Not what you know, but who you know.
Right. Life insurance policies. I want to speak on this because it is a sad but realistic truth. A lot of African American families, one, don't have insurance policies, but also don't even have a conversation of what they even are in detail. And lastly, it's a frequent thing when you see someone going into a medical problem, going into a funeral or death of a loved one. It's a lot of GoFundMes. It's a lot of let's have a fundraiser, whatever the case may be. And I think we look at death as a black community in the wrong way. We can look at death as obviously we lost a loved one, we gotta mourn them, grieve them, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, if we had a $1 million life insurance policy on that lost loved one, it could change 3 generations and behind.
Yes, sir.
That boy took it to a whole new level and said $1 million.
For sure.
100,000 the minimum.
Yep, for sure.
But he said $1 million. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about what you can afford and all that. And life insurance policies, man, I got one on my wife and my son. Bro, they're not like crazily expensive. Like if you spend $20 or $30 on subscriptions, you definitely can do one on doing life insurance policies for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So my question is, what are your guys' views on insurance policies itself and those statements that I made on the black communities and how you feel about them, as far as their views on insurance policies?
I think the thing with the African American community is that we always feel like we got time.
Do it later.
Like, I swear.
We do it later. You know what I'm saying? But
procrastination.
We don't know the day or the hour. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I have a permanent life insurance plan.
Okay.
And I have one through my employer. But
that's good.
You got to think of it like this. When you get a job, they offer that to you. But it's really only like rent. You only get it until you for as long as you get that job until you leave the company. Then you don't have it no more.
Right.
But when you have a permanent life insurance policy, which I have through Northwestern Mutual, through Jonathan Wheeler.
Shouts out to Jonathan Wheeler.
Shut up, for real?
Yes, sir. I have a whole portfolio with that guy.
You should have been had that. That's good that you got that. I'm just saying, everybody should have.
I said I already had it through my employer. You know what I'm saying?
But you got your own.
You should have been that shit.
But you got your own.
Jonathan.
Not that I'm happy that you got that, but you should have been had that for real.
But you got your own.
I got a permanent one. Okay. I had one through my job, which I've been at my job for almost 6 years
tomorrow, and you lose it.
But that's why I did the permanent.
That's what I'm saying. You should have went out on your own and got that.
Let her know that she should have been had that.
Thank you. I appreciate you getting on me, bro.
Look,
thank you. That's all. I need that. I needed that. You're right. I was too late, bro. I was too late. I was too late.
We going out young now.
Yeah, but the difference between
you going out young. I ain't going out young.
No. If I can prevent it, I ain't going out.
All right. This is a great example because you're not working, right?
Right.
You have a life insurance.
I do.
Through
State Farm.
Okay. Oh, look at you! You ain't got one through your employer. Now it's not rented. That's what I'm saying. So with permanent life insurance, not only is it beneficial in death, but it's beneficial while you're alive too. You can take that money. Say you could take that money. Say your investments drop or something due to the market crash or anything like that. You can literally take that money and put it into your other investments. If not, take it out and cash out on it too as well, which people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? So it does cost a little more, but it's the risk I take to let me and my family be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like my job, I only got to pay like maybe $14-$15 for my life insurance, and it's probably
stop right there. $14 to $15 when you really think about how cheap
it's really cheap.
It's like it's a meal. It's literally the bottle that you just bought. Times two. It's like
you gotta be hungry.
Like we are really talking about 2 Chipotle bowls that you can do. Like it's just,
and that's a month.
And it's a month.
Like 3 times
on the whole policy.
Yeah,
I know
on the whole policy,
Chipotle 3 or 4 times a week. Like it's just crazy to think about that.
I say get both though, because one thing about a permanent life insurance plan, a lot of it you can't really do anything between 7 to 10 years. But while you at your job, if anything happens right then and there at your job, you straight for sure.
That's cool. You know what I'm saying? So at the job, or if anything happens outside of the job too.
While you employed.
Outside
the job and at work.
Yep. So I say that to say it's best to have both. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. Like people today, like I don't want to be in my job no more. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking, just to make sure we clarify the audience, you're saying if you are at a 9 to 5, you should have both. You should have one at your employer and one outside.
As a backup.
Yep,
yeah. I'm doing it as a backup. You know what I'm saying? Because I never know when my overall goal is to be an entrepreneur and work for myself. But if, say, I don't do that until 15, 20 years from now, like where I literally work for myself, I didn't just wasted 15, 20 years where I could have invested 15, 20 years ago into that policy. You know what I'm saying? And now I done passed the 7 to 10 year mark. Now if anything ever happened, I got this backup. I get... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you getting double, like, and then a permanent life insurance is always like double, triple what your policy is, like guaranteed.
It's better to get it when you're young too.
Yeah, and it's always better to get it when you're young.
Because when you get old, you got health problems.
Not only pay less, but also you got more risk.
It's cheaper when you get older. It's cheaper when you're younger too. A lot of people don't know that. Like, the younger you are, the cheaper your policy is. When you wait till like 40 and 50, and you
smoke?
Got a half lung left and all that.
Let's help.
Have you gotten an accident?
Yep.
That's when you paying like $1,000 for your insurance.
Because they looking at it like, oh, how long is this person gonna live, and what kind of conditions will they occur, or
risk
do they
versus
have?
Comfort.
Yeah, exactly.
Risk versus comfort, for sure. So with that being said, it's another topic that I want to touch on that Jonathan Wheeler sort of was saying in a subliminal way. group economics. Now, this is a huge group/family economics. Now, as of lately, I've been watching two people called Prince Donnell and Dana Chanel. They own a tax business and they also own a credit repair / marketing clothing. It's so many companies that they own. Long story short, they 25, 26, and they making over $15 million a year. So
what? Wait, hold on. You said that a little too fast.
So Prince Donnell, I'm gonna send y'all all of this before.
Who? Prince Donnell,
Dana Chanel.
You already know he making money. Prince.
His real name Donnell Morris, but I guess that's his name or whatever. But
they got a YouTube, right?
Yeah, they got a YouTube. They got a podcast called $1 Million Life Lessons. But long story short, how they view family and how they go about their economics is so dope. This is how they do it. So in a nutshell, if we are all brothers and sisters, if Just has $5,000 in student loans and Domo was making $60,000 a year, Just is making $70,000 a year, and we're all debt free, we're not going to spend money on weed. We're not going to spend money on clothes. We helping him get out of debt, and once he get out of debt, and we all have $10,000 in savings, we not making any major moves until he's debt free and he has $10,000 in savings. Once we all are at the same level, now we take that next level at the same time with that step and open up businesses or get a new car or whatever the case may be, and we all move as a unit instead of being individualized.
It sound too sweet when you say it like that. But
okay, and which I'm about to get into
it. It sounds like this Chinese custom a little bit.
So I'm about to get into that point. Yeah. So you say it's too sweet. What I say to that is, and I'm speaking specifically for black families. I'm not white, any other ethnicity.
You're just speaking on us.
On us. I'm going to say most families that I've ever seen, everybody moves from an individual perspective.
Right.
Domo is in student loan debt right now. Just is in some type of debt right now. I can guarantee you that 8 out of 10 times, if they go to their parents and go, we are in debt, we need to move as a collective and go, we need to get out of debt first, and then now we need to all own our own business at the same time. That's going to be a tough conversation to have with an actual black, I ain't going to say normal, but just a black couple and a black parent.
No, you can say a black family.
Yeah, black family.
Hey, you just say it.
Because the thing is,
get your ass out of here.
Yeah, no, for real. Because we're not. We can go over. We supposed to get out of the house at 18. We're grown at that. It's so many points we can go for that. But the main point is this: we don't reverse engineer how we're supposed to move as a collective. And I think what happens is we do it because that's the stigma of we are grown and bad and we can move out on our own. We don't need nobody. Yeah. But if you look at real Jewish communities, if you look at Chinese communities, nobody moves until one is set.
Right.
So I ask that to say this. You don't have to answer personally, but I'll ask you this. Do you think group economics, the concept itself, should be practiced more in the black community, period?
For sure. Absolutely.
Most definitely. I think it's an ego thing why we don't. You got to be honest, like, let's just keep it a buck. We be competing with our family.
That's which is sick. But then you really think about it, it's sick.
It's also a lot of like kids that like jumped out and they didn't even have to though.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was one of them.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Me, I was one of them.
I could probably still be living with my mom.
Same here.
But me as a person and who I chose to be around, all was all out on their own. So I felt like I had to be out on my own and had to move fast. But I definitely could have slowed down and been probably a lot further than I was. But I jumped faster than I had to.
Right,
for sure.
I could have definitely been living still with my mom.
But I wouldn't blame that on you. I would blame that on the stigma that's around people that you hung around and say, bro, I've hung out with people that when they were 17 or 18, we know we're supposed to go out. Yeah. But when you really think about it, this is what I think my point of it from all of it is this. If your mom is making $150,000, there's no way you're not making a third of that and have that saved up before you move out. Because my thing is this: you move out and your mom is making $150,000, but you go into $100,000 of debt.
Yeah.
Why is your mom? And this is not nothing against you. I'm just saying this from my concept of thinking about and studying the Chinese and Jewish communities. Why wouldn't your mom go, dude, you are not fucking ready to move out. I don't care if I got to send you to jail, bring you back home, whatever, just to see how rough it is.
Right.
You coming back home. I'm not letting you go
because
out.
Because like with the Chinese and stuff, like they make their kids have businesses.
But that's why I said it sounds like the Chinese custom. But when you think about that, the Chinese custom is way different from ours. It's based off like loyalty to the point where they only marry what they parent, who their parents tell them to marry. They only mess with, they only do what their parents tell them to do.
Well, like us,
we don't live like that. Like,
for sure.
We like,
why?
Because it's for me, like he said, if your parents is making this much, why aren't you at least making a third of that? Me personally, I just don't like asking my parents for anything. I like to get it on my own. But it started. I'm gonna say not that they don't want to do it,
and I know they don't. I think it's, but I know, and I know you're not. None of y'all ain't gonna take this personal. I think that's the most absurd and stupid thing I've ever heard of, because this is the thing. Your family is supposed to keep you in that position. If you got a piece of cheesecake in the goddamn refrigerator and your mom go in there and get it, whose is it? It's yours? No, it's the whole house's.
No, if it's mine.
I'm saving it. I get what you're saying, but that even speak to me going. And I know you fucking around, but I know that's. But I know that's what you're saying. But I know that's what you're saying. When you go in the refrigerator, that's everybody in that house cheesecake.
Right.
Why don't we look at
it's
money
anybody
the same
to go
way?
get it?
It don't make sense.
Right.
Why would I go if I know my mom is debt free, but I made a couple mistakes and I thought I was gonna go to college. I thought I was gonna do this. Why wouldn't your mom go, son, you need to move in here. I see what you're doing. Let's get you out of debt, and then let's open up this business for you. When I study these communities, I've been studying for 3 years. But that's how they look at it.
I think for me, because my parents have it and they want to help me, but then you got these people that be like, they know what my parents do, and they be like, you got it because your mama and your daddy. No, I got this on my own. Like, I want people to know I got this on my own. Like, ain't nobody. But they instilled that in me when I was a child. Like, this is how you work and earn your money. This is how I was taught growing up. I can ask my parents, and they will give it to me willingly. Right. But I just don't want to. I don't want that. I want to get it on my own.
And I'm with you.
But like, I didn't have to move out. I didn't have to do all that stuff. I did it because I couldn't be myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can't grow into myself.
And I don't want this to be a battle of all of us going, okay, y'all should do this or your family should. No, I'm just saying that had a conversation. Just had a conversation of going, man, I just studied these communities so much to where I'm really thinking like, bro, we live in ass backwards. And that shit bothers me so bad, bro. Like, I see so many individuals, including myself, to where it's like, we put in these positions because of lack of knowledge, but it's too far because once we get to that point and our parents die, now we got to clean up their messes and then clean up our kids' messes. And then it's just a never-ending cycle.
It depends on that child, too, because, like, I could have 200. I could have 200K.
Systematically conditioned to, like you said, I understood what you said when you said that. It's kind of I wouldn't say stupid. Yeah, but it is. But it's like we taught. This is my thing. Always, growing up, I always thought like this. We all been taught differently. We all taught different things, and we all learned differently. Correct. You know what I'm saying? But we all grew up with the system that we started. We started. I mean, pretty much from, you know what I'm saying, blacks, just. Everybody as a unit. We started with nothing. Exactly. Like everything that we had before, you know what I'm saying, Black Wall Street and all that, everything that we had was taken from us. Everything that we had before, you know what I'm saying, slavery. Like, this stuff goes back in time. It's just now that we do have opportunity where we can go to school or can get these jobs, like factories, for example. Factories to me is the new plantation. That's all it is. Ooh. Factories. We can talk about this. That's a whole nother conversation. Factories and prisons is the new plantation.
If you want to be honest, it's identical.
That's literally what it's like. They give you a set amount.
You got a whole chill off of that
every single day. Yep. But when you start becoming more knowledgeable, more wise about what you're doing with your money, it's always another hill that you got to jump across. It's always something that, I got 10,000 saved up, but first thing I want to do is go buy a car. Like we all taught the important things that really aren't important
at all.
Like for me, example, and I'm not letting know because I've been waiting to say this. But like for me,
even if you late, talk it.
Yeah, but like
talk for a reason, man. Come on.
When I was growing up, like I'm about to be 29. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, I always just like I tried to get a house when I was 20. You know what I'm saying? But I lost my job. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, boom, well, lost my job. You know what I'm saying? I still got a little bit of time to do something. Let me go ahead and get this because this is what I want. Like I went ahead and bought me a new car. Right. Why? Because I wanted. Why? Because I worked 80 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because I wanted to have something instead of
what you work for.
Instead of being taught like no, maybe like I said, it really ain't. It's really none of our faults. It's just you live and learn. But it's like it's what you told and what you've been taught. That's all this growing up. But it's like I looked at it like, well, I want something material. I want something fast. I want this. But fast forward, as you grow, as you evolve as a person, and as we evolve as a unit, as a people, the important thing is systematic growth. For sure. It's not for sure. Oh, okay, I got this brand new car, but you owe that bank. You don't own it. You just owe the bank. You owe that bank. You don't own that. That's why I was like, this point, like man, it's deep. It's a deep conversation because it's like. Your grandparents, most of our grandparents that came out of the slavery, whoever it was. Yep. First opportunity they had, or back when all these companies really jumped off, the first jobs that they had without a degree was Chrysler or Ford, whatever these companies had to pay. Yep. Maybe pay $30, $40. Like I know back then. Yep. But now it's like you can make $25 an hour. Like I know people would make $25 with degrees that still stay in factories. Why? Because it's not necessarily your job, it's where you live. That your degree might not get you that same rate of pay based on where you at.
And not only that, I'm gonna take it a step further. Or it's a skill that you know. Right. A lot of people, I'm gonna break this down to you. I swear to God, the people I just mentioned, Prince Down and Dave Chanel, shout out to them because they've been giving me so much game lately. I'm obsessed. This is how he broke it down. He goes, you can go get a business degree, but they don't teach you how to be a business owner. Right. They can tell you how to be a plumber, but the next day you can file for your LLC. You can start your business that day. So the conversation is, are we going to school to get an actual piece of paper? Or are we going to go get a skill that we can pass down to a generation? Because I don't care what you say. Domo can work and she can get 500 racks a year. She can't pass that piece of paper to her kids. If Domo go and she pass, God forbid, tomorrow, and she have a child, Domo may rub that manager the wrong way, and she thought she was cool with him the entire time. Come to find out, the kid go try to apply for the same job when they're 18. Oh, I hated your mom. Yeah. She was with a woman. I hate homosexuality. I hate it. But to reverse that, Domo got into the hookah business, and come to find out, man, I'm gonna teach you how to make hookah. I'm gonna teach you how to sell hookah, and I'm gonna teach you the entire business. Now, when she died, she done showed her daughter the entire system on how to make hookah. Now, not only am I passing you a will and a trust, but I'm also showing you an entire system and business that I know you're gonna know how to run when you get out. And you control that. Not Will from Jeep, not Rick from that corporation. You control that. So when you tell me all of that, I agree with everything. But at the same time, bro, the shit's so deep.
You going into family?
That shit running. A lot of family ain't cool though either. No. Like I can't trust some people with 200K. Like
different conversation too. It's so
he might dip up on my bread and not do what he's supposed to do with it. That's how family be like. And you can even try to like. I done been in scenarios.
What you got, Tyson? What you got? How many you got? Okay.
I done been in situations where I didn't try to put family together on something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at that moment, if it don't make money, it don't make sense to them, then they ain't gonna be all in for
sure.
it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But
Or it's
like,
a scheme, or it's a scam.
It's a family, like you said.
or like the Let Twins. When we talked to Let Twins, they said sweat equity.
Yep.
You got to put in the work first before you see any kind of income.
Yeah.
But see, when you're working with family, they expect you to like pay them first to come help you out.
Right.
Like, no, you got to see the vision like I see the vision.
No, for sure.
Man,
no, for sure.
I don't.
It ain't even like that. It's like we all got equal partnership.
Yep.
To be honest,
What you put in, I put in. What I get out, you get out too at the same time.
Yep.
But if you ain't if it ain't making it right then and there, they don't want nothing to do with it. Like that's just what it is. Like
instant gratification.
when it comes to family, I don't look for financial stability. I don't look for them putting in to what I'm gonna put in. I just need your support.
Yeah.
If you can support me, then that's cool.
that go a long way.
Yeah.
But if you ain't gotta like invest into what I want to do, you ain't gotta like, you ain't gotta participate in none of the financial services that I need. You ain't gotta help me get out of debt. Just tell me what I need to do and just educate me, and I'm gonna make it do.
Right.
I think another issue with that too.
I think that'll resolve a lot of conflict.
Yeah,
For sure.
But you gotta think of the society that we're in. Like you said, our parents. If our parents have all of this, we shouldn't be so let go out into the world. But
Right.
you like this chick, she ain't dating you if you stand with your mama and your pops. Like it just be like that.
No,
like
for sure.
so now he pressured. Like I gotta get my own spot because I got this.
You
like,
Gotta have a bed.
yeah, I gotta get
for
my
sure.
spot. Like that's the
For
only
sure.
way I can get to do the wham, kadam,
Yeah.
kazam.
For
Like,
sure.
Plenty of time.
like that's just
I
how
heard
it be.
that.
Like it's just the way that our like culture is. Like it's just totally different from the other cultures where they are really like so in tune with family and family dynamic and our family running businesses for generations and generations. Our culture is like I don't trust James ass over there.
They don't want the person to do better than them.
I be at family gatherings, they be like, check his ass.
Yeah,
like,
man, it's the real.
Did he buy his shirt?
Man, look.
check
For the
his
family
ass.
reunion, get them goddamn shoes.
I know
from
his
Shoe
ass just took that
Carnival.
extra
Put
Capri
them
Sun
on,
from
look.
the damn kids. Like, just be shit like that. Like,
But when you like forget money, forget business, forget all that. When you look at the actual root of the thought of whatever they saying, you
Right.
bro, I live in the same house with you. Like I literally grew up with you. Why are we even talking about what pair of shoes James got on? Like, why are we even talking shit about?
oh, we talking about immediate family.
No, I'm talking about complete immediate family.
Oh yeah, no,
that.
immediate family people that I'm in the
immediate.
household with. Oh yeah, I trust them 1,000%.
I'm talking about immediate family. I ain't talking about man. There's so many outside factors that you can't control with family. Outside of that, oh my god, no, of course.
Yeah, no,
but if it's immediate
family,
family, it's no way that y'all don't have y'all don't have morning conversations every day about, yo, what's your goals for the day? Or what finances we going to be able to help out our son or our brother out, whatever the case may be. It's no way that y'all don't go, why did you make that decision and why that's wrong? Just holding each other accountable. Like, I swear to God, it's hard to get it started, but when you really get it started and get it going and any issues y'all had in the house, like when you just be hunted to go, look, I didn't like how Domo had somebody in the house 3 a.m, or I didn't like how you left the bathroom unclean, or whatever the case may be. When you get past all of that, it's like it's only really 3 things that I really care about: money, respect, and actually how y'all run your household. After all of that, everything else is minuscule. Everything is little. Yeah. So when I think about what y'all saying, I take all of that with a grain of salt. Like, okay, it may not be easy as I'm making it sound, but it's been done.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's been done. And I take it so serious, bro, because it's holding so many of us back when we think about it. My main overall point is we move from an individual standpoint instead of a family unit. That's it.
Now that you put it that way, I am the only child outside of my parents' house. But that's because I'm married. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All my other siblings, and they're grown, still live. And that's because my parents is like, don't leave if you don't have to leave.
Yeah.
Don't put your... But I was a person, like, of course, because of how I am, I had to go. But I ain't have to go. I chose to go. But my other siblings stayed. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? They're still there until they get married. That's they go. I'm not leaving mom and dad's house till I'm married. You know what I'm saying? So. Man, now that you say it like that, I thought you meant like family overall. No, like immediate. If you talk about immediate family, that's what my parents do all day long.
You ain't leaving until you're married. That's a long time.
No, they don't want to. They don't want to leave until they're married.
I can't.
Yeah, because you
I need my own space.
Smacking cheeks. It's cool.
That's all, man. You just need your own space and make sure your mom and them don't hear what you doing down there. It's all right, bro.
You can't do that in mom and pop's house. It's over with.
No, listen, for real. No, you can't.
Can't do that in mom and pop's house. I can't do that.
I think one of the best things Financially Lit does, y'all building the ecosystem. So y'all was talking about y'all selling t-shirts, y'all doing a podcast. I'm sure many more things is coming in the future. What's some things that y'all would like to do to keep the business going, whether it's adding more revenues or income to your business or whatever the case may be?
Get into schools.
Bingo.
Get into school?
Get into the schools.
Talk to the
kids.
Yeah.
That's been like our number one goal since we started.
For sure.
It's the and we did have some things lined up where we was gonna go to different people that had like after school programs for kids and talk to them, but then COVID hit, so it kind of took a little break on that, which is okay. You know what I'm saying? It gives us a little bit more time to prepare for when stuff do come back into full effect.
That's a huge step.
Oh yeah, we gotta figure out how we about to deliver this to the kids.
Already got that.
Look.
We'll talk about that.
That's the brand right there, dude.
Because I used to
know
run
what he
schools.
doing.
Okay.
3 schools.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
so I know how to avenue that.
That's cool.
Yeah, we talked to Tia Armstrong, which we did an interview with. She does Hearts to Hearts.
Yeah,
and we talked to what's the other dude name? This drink man threw me off.
Talk podcast. That's the remedy. If you ain't get it.
But he has a kids program too as well. We had talk. I want to say Ty.
Yeah,
Ty's. No, not Armstrong. His name Ty though.
I have no idea then.
Whatever it is. And then we want to get into the high schools because that's just when they starting to get into the real world.
For sure.
And they can understand credit because when I got out of high school, I want to think about credit. I just want to pay everything outright, and then I had to think about credit when I got married.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man.
Because that's a marriage. You gotta know.
That's when I gotta call Gaylon.
Hello.
Gaylon, help me out on this little thing right here. You know what I'm saying? I utilize all my resources.
Yeah,
you feel me?
As you should.
So that's what I gotta say about what's next for us.
Anything individuals you got as far as what y'all think y'all would want to add to Financially Lit the podcast or the brand itself?
I think we need to just work on are we pushing towards growing individually and as a group.
Yep.
Before we even did all this, we just need to grow.
Yep.
We just need to keep growing.
Yeah, human evolution, man.
So we can keep doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It all gonna tie into each other.
We chase that bag.
Man, that's really just
chase that bag.
Get to the point.
Just begin straight to the point.
You gotta reach, talk to who you gotta talk to, kick it around who you gotta kick it around. Reach that bag, and just be safe about it. I mean, don't be fake, but you gotta get it.
That's it, man.
Forget all that other stuff for sure.
Brian,
get that bag.
Move with the right reason, really.
Move with the right reason. Collectively, I'm in the presence of greatness.
Move with the crowd.
It's bigger than you. Like this, the Financially Lit. That's what we had to realize too. This is bigger than us.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? When we started, I think that's what kept us really the momentum was that people was reaching out to us like, dude, y'all gotta do this. Stay doing this.
Yeah.
Like people from out of town, like I'm just sending stuff to people out of town. They like, dog, like, yo, this is what's needed right now because it's not in the school system. It's so important.
It ain't taught
and
to us.
It's not taught to us. And this is why us as African Americans in our community is in the position that we in right now because we don't have what the Caucasians and the Asians and the Germans and the Italians and all that stuff have. And we don't even share with our people. Like we be hiding gems from each other because we scared that somebody gonna one up us. Like it shouldn't even matter as long as I don't care if my dude one up me.
They gonna do better.
They gonna see us together and be like they look nice. You know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Like so when it come to like any businesses, if it was another financial podcast group. I wouldn't even care.
Yeah.
As long as you preaching what you got to preach and you spreading the word to our people, that's all that matters. This ain't no competition.
I agree.
Right.
I agree. Man, so with that being said, I think I learned what's next with Financial Lit Podcast, getting into the schools and whatnot. Can we please let the audience know where they can follow y'all at personally and as a collective?
She the best at saying it.
Go let her know then.
Facebook, Financially Lit
2020. Facebook, Financially Lit 2020. Twitter and Instagram, Financially Lit 2. Individually.
No, get y'all shit off. Y'all need to get y'all
individually. I'm on.
He definitely on Facebook as what?
I'm on Facebook as Jus McCray.
Acting the ass with that goddamn Hellcat. It's an orange one if y'all ain't never seen it.
I'm on Instagram with the scat. Acting
Scat.
At EnvyJus. ENVYJUS.
Brian, you want to get it off there?
Y'all can find me. My auto detailing company, Glassman Auto Detailing.
Yes, sir.
Good work.
Wait, you doing auto detail?
Yeah,
God
yes,
damn it, I was
business on
sick. I didn't get to ask you about none of that.
Certified. I got certified last year in San Diego, California. So I'm certified auto reconditioning, ceramic coating, and advanced auto detailing.
That's what's up. Cool. Get it off.
Just find me on Facebook. Just call me Coop. Just call me Coop. I don't mess with nothing else too much.
That's literally his Facebook name. Just call me
Just
Coop.
call me Coop.
Facts.
And,
just call me, all one word, Coop.
COOP.
Yes.
See, I knew that.
See, look. There you
See,
go.
look. I'm here to back him up. You know what I'm saying? You can find me Facebook, Domo Pryor. You can find me on Instagram, Domo The Model. Make sure y'all follow Fog It Up Hookahs on Instagram and Facebook. Man, we on the road.
Man, look.
Financially Lit.
It's
beautiful.
That's it.
YouTube.
Man. Yes.
Financially Lit.
Subscribe.
Make sure y'all subscribe.
We
comment.
need some subscribers.
We got
for
the
real.
gems, man.
Yes, sir.
Got the gems.
Whoever is watching his channel.
Yes.
Just go ahead to subscribe to his.
No, this is a family thing. So we're going to bring all that
applaud to you for what you've been doing.
I appreciate it,
bro.
For
real.
Thank you all.
I work hand in hand with Gaylon too, so you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to be working with him if I feel like he was on some crap, so.
Listen, we way too deep into this. If we are doing anything fraudulent, man, a lot of people will know that. But we trying to bring the financial literacy to every person, human being possible, because it's so important. Not just in the black community, but just in general. So I just try to say we doing something that hasn't been done in Toledo yet, that I've seen from the podcast and social media platform standpoint. So we're gonna continue to keep doing our job and our duty to make sure that we keep doing what we need to do. Right. With that being said, man, that's a wrap for another episode of Talk That Talk. If you tune in for personal development, you came to the right place. If you tune in for career development, you came to the right place. If you tune in for financial literacy, you definitely came to the right place. I'm Gaylon Hughes Jr. and I'll see you guys next time. Financially Lit.